Welcome to the VET S.O.S Veteran Educational Program Spotlight. Remember, don't drown the sea of transition. Grab the VET S.O.S Lifeline. We're brought to you by the Who You Know Network, and we're proud members of the Parade Deck community. As always, I'm here with my co-host, Dr. Hira. How are you doing today, Hira?
Doing absolutely wonderful. Excited to learn about another great institution today.
Yeah, this is exciting. Kaylin and I had a great conversation before. I'm really looking forward to sharing this information. So we're sitting down with Kaylin Rill, Director of Military and Veteran Services at the University of New Hampshire. She serves as the director of that program, and they provide assistance to approximately 900 military-connected students across all 4 UNH campuses. She began her work with military populations as a transition counselor with the U.S. Army Soldier for Life Transition Assistance Program at Joint Base Myer-Henderson Hall in Arlington, Virginia. In 2015, Kaylin took the skills and information she learned and transferred into a career in higher education, focusing on roles that work specifically with military-connected students. She enjoys all aspects of getting to work with the special population, especially because no 2 students are exactly alike, and that is what makes them so unique. That is fantastic. I love that. How are you doing today, Kaylin?
I am doing wonderful. Thank you so much for having me today.
Oh, we're excited to do this. So you didn't serve in the military. Yeah. What led you to working with veterans? How did that pathway even materialize?
Sure. It's I always like to tell this story as it's a little bit happenstance and chance and a little bit of interest as well. So I actually was in graduate school down in Washington, D.C. And of course, there's a large military population there. I went to school with many students who were serving in a variety of different capacities. So their stories that they always told in the classes we had together were very interesting to me. And then an opportunity opened up at Joint Base Myer-Henderson Hall to work in their transition program. And I thought this could be really interesting and a way to start to learn even more about what this population is going through, bring my perspective of the world to them. So I'm just a civilian, and so I can tell them what's been going on our side of things for a while, but also learn from them about what they're going through. And so I found an opportunity. They took a chance on me. I worked primarily with spouses and veterans themselves, but I really appreciated all that they taught me. And I transitioned this into higher education because I wanted to continue doing the work, but I was moving back home to New England. And of course, there's not TAP programs up here as aplenty as there are in other areas. So I really looked at what have I been doing primarily in TAP, and it's really been transition planning and career planning for them, whether they stopped in education first and then they went on to their career that they were looking to do, or went right to their career. And so I found that colleges had the most opportunity to continue to do that type of work with them. So I actually started in career centers specifically, but because I had that military background now with the TAP program, they always had me as the go-to person for anyone that had a military connection. And then it's slowly transitioned to now where I work primarily in the Veterans Center that we have, and then can help them still in those variety of ways of plan for education, plan for your transition after education, what you're going to do at that point.
That's an awesome journey. And you're right. There's not a whole lot up there in New England. My family, my grandparents and my parents are all from Worcester, Mass area. And I think I have one cousin that lives in New Hampshire, but yeah, it's not a whole lot of bases to jump into that program up there with. So
there are not, no.
All right. So tell us a little bit about University of New Hampshire.
Sure, absolutely. So as you mentioned in the intro, we have about 900 military connected students. So that covers obviously our student veterans, as well as anyone that has a connection if they're currently serving in any capacity, and our dependents. And we do that across 4 campuses that we have, 3 physically in New Hampshire and 1 that's online. And through Military and Veteran Services, we help them in sort of a 2-tier way. So the first is we do any and all processing of paperwork for education benefits, whether that comes from the federal government or the state government, all of that passes through our office. And then the second is that we operate a Veterans Center space on our Durham campus and then a Veterans Lounge on our Manchester campus. And this is a space that's just dedicated to our students, right? So we do a lot of work there to connect them to resources, both on campus and in the community, because sometimes they get, what they're needing assistance with, it's better to send them to someone in the community than here on campus. We do programming for them there, and we really just set up these areas to be like a home base for them. So come see us, come meet other students that, you might have a familiar story with. Just have a truly comfortable area on campus where you might not feel quite so other as you can in some different spots. And then let us support you. We always say to our students, come to us first. If we have to send you, somewhere else because they're going to answer the question better for you, we're happy to do that, but you can use us as a stepping off point.
It's fantastic.
It's so critical to have that place of like, you don't know what you don't know. That's what I always told students working with them. It's okay, but know somebody to go to so that you can find out. And it sounds like that's what you're doing there for your military connected students, which is wonderful to hear. If you were to share maybe 1 to 2 very specific programs or pieces that you do for your military community throughout the year, what would they be?
Sure. So one of them is we offer green zone training. And so this is not directly like our community attends it, but I think it's very crucial and important because it's helping to educate the broader campus about our students, about some of their experiences they may have had beforehand and how to best, approach them and working with them. And the ultimate message that comes from that is, they're a student, they bring unique backgrounds to the classroom, just like any of your other students. And yes, there might be some specialized things they need help with, and that's where you can come and contact us and we'll help you with that. So I think that's really helpful because we're just continuing to work on a better understanding and a better acceptance of these students outside of just our area. And then we do a new student veteran orientation. So we do that at the start of every fall and every spring. Invite our students to campus, and we basically mimic the larger student orientation that happens with students primarily in June before the start of the year. And so it's just our special, unique way of saying we want to welcome you together here as a group. We're going to go through material that's really specific to what you need to know. So we spend a lot of time on the GI Bill and give them opportunities to ask questions about that and, make sure that everything's all set. But we'll also do things like we bring some of our current students in and they just can sit down and talk to them about, what is your experience really like? And we have a group called Northeast Passage, which does basically community-based programs, comes onto campus and does an icebreaker session with them. And they lead this really great focused conversation on what are you excited about, but also what are some fears that you have? And then that really gets them to kind of open up for the day and shows them, oh, I'm not alone because this person sitting next to me is also worried about how do I become that, older person in the classroom that might have slightly different ideas than some of the people I've been with or lived experiences than my classmates, and how do I kind of navigate that situation? So I think those two are definitely the most important ones that we do.
Yeah.
Absolutely love that. You hit on one of the biggest ones. You are not alone. And we keep hammering that home, and the fact that you're taking that stance at the college level is just phenomenal. Because I don't think we've heard that yet here, but that's just absolutely amazing. So sounds like you got some great programs going on. You're doing some wonderful things there. Is there anything special that you guys do to try to draw in veterans to go to UNF? Is that like any kind of recruiting type programs that you're trying to do that way?
So I wouldn't say anything specific or out of the, ordinary that our admissions team isn't already doing. They attend some specific educational fairs that might be held on a base or that are focused on military and military families. I think what we do that really helps to draw veterans in is our philosophy is we're going to help you whether you're coming to UNH or not. So we would rather students have good information about, the benefits they have, how they can use them, limitations they might have on them so that they know everything about how do I not, waste away some of this benefit that's really time constrained, or if they just have questions in general about the education process, applying to colleges, transferring, whatever that might be, we will answer those questions. And so I at the end of the day, I'm like, I don't care if you become a student at UNH. I just want you to know that you have all the good details that you need. And I think that has really helped us a lot in terms of, recruiting students to come to UNH, because they know, okay, so even from the start, this was the support that we were getting, before we even knew we were going to be there as a student.
That's that genuine authenticity of, this is not about me. This is really about you. Are you taken care of? So that's a wonderful approach to it all. And I mean, a good selling point. I'm a New Englander. So, our fall here is hard to rival, and I don't care who you are. That's a great selling point.
I agree. And I'm very fortunate because my colleagues, so I've been at UNH for just about 4 years at this point. And I'm very fortunate because when I got there, my colleagues had the same philosophy as well. So it was a real smooth, this is what we're going to be doing, and actually continuing in that respect. So that's been a long-standing practice that they've done at UNH before my time there.
I love it. I absolutely love it. And it just hit me here. You should be sending me like overnight lobsters. I mean, really, that's what we should be doing at this point.
I'll send you a little care package of all the best New England things.
Oh man, lobster and steamers. It doesn't get any better than that.
And don't forget our maple syrup.
Yeah. I got it.
We can tap our own trees. It's a thing.
Right.
But
and we'll talk about the fall in New England. Yeah, it's beautiful, but we got the beaches here in Florida. Come on now. And don't talk about the beaches up there in Massachusetts. I don't know.
We have a different coastline, and we're very proud of it up in New England. It's fine.
It's all good. My heart is there for sure. I spent a lot of time up there in New England. Absolutely love the area. So yeah, we're getting close to the end again. And one of the things we like to ask, especially when we have time, is, in your words, why should a veteran or a military connected family member choose UNH to continue their education?
Sure. So I think pretty much from what I was just talking about, that, they're going to find a really supportive system. And that's not just exclusive to our office. That is definitely a pedagogy that goes throughout the entire university system of, we care about each and every one of our students finding their place at UNH, wherever that may be, having the opportunity to get different experiences, to really figure out, what is my goal to do after I graduate from the program, and how to be successful in that, however they're defining that for themselves. So, whatever that looks like, we want to make sure that we're helping them get to that point for that.
I absolutely love this. And what's great about this whole thing is we're, been doing the transition podcast for 2 years, and we meet all these great people that just want to help. Right. And so now that we're doing the educational thing, I'm learning the same thing, that all these people, they just want to help the community. And I absolutely love it. I mean, this is amazing here.
I agree. So thank you, Kaylin, for joining us on the VET S.O.S podcast today. On behalf of the VET S.O.S family, we'd like to thank everyone for joining and listening. You can find the VET S.O.S podcast on all your favorite podcast platforms, YouTube, and all social media platforms. Make sure that you subscribe and follow VET S.O.S so you don't miss a thing. And please remember, don't drown in the sea of transition. Grab the VET S.O.S lifeline.